Good evening, everybody. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. I'll just do another little microphone test. Okay. Everyone can hear me okay from here? Yes, I can see it moving. So let's start by sitting up nice and tall on your, I'm going to bring that with me. Let's start by sitting nice and tall on your mat. Lengthen your spine. Whoa, needing a bit of space? Yeah, thanks for joining me this Thursday just before Easter. I hope you've got some nice plans. We do. We're going camping in the backyard, which should be fun. Let's begin with a 3-part breath retention. It's called Against the Grain breath, Viloma Pranayama. So we inhale in 3 parts. It goes like this. We inhale, exhale. So just listening for now. Inhale a little, hold the breath. Inhale a bit more, bringing the air up a little higher into the abdomen, hold the breath. Then we inhale right up into the chest, and then one long exhalation out. So here we go together. Take a breath in, roll your shoulders back, and let yourself settle. Find the plumb line through the center of your body, so even through both sitting bones, collarbone relaxed and open, and crown reaching up. Chin parallel to the floor, and let's begin. So inhale and hold, and inhale a little more, and hold 2, 3, and breathe in, and hold the breath, and exhale on one long exhalation. And repeat, inhale and hold, and inhale and hold, and inhale and hold, and long exhale. And breathe in, 2, 3, and hold, 2, 3. Breathe in, 2, 3, and hold, 2, 3, and in and out, and in and hold, 2, 3, breathe in and hold, 2, 3, last breath, and in, and long exhalation out, and in, and hold, 2, 3, and in, and hold, 2, 3, and in, and hold, and long exhalation out through the nose, and repeat, and in, and hold the breath, 2, 3, breathe in a little more, and hold, 2, 3, inhale, fill the cup right to the chest, to the edges of the collarbones, and pause, and out, long spine, gently draw the navel in, and in, and hold, and in, and hold, and in, and hold, and breathe out. Last round, breathe in, and hold, and in, expanding into the back body, and hold, and in, and hold. And breathe out long. And just moving back to your normal breath, noticing the rhythm of your unchanged breath, observing if you're a little more present in your body. Observe your body. Allow whatever is to be there. And observe your state of mind. Take a little inventory. And with this information now, take a moment to set an intention for your practice, our practice tonight. Namaste. Welcome. I'm going to join you on the mat. Let's begin with a round of sun salutations to warm us up. We're going to go slow and steady. So find your way to the front of your mat, standing tall. So we're lifting and spreading the toes. Lift the arches of your feet. Bend your knees a little bit. Roll your shoulders just to start to feel into the spine a little. Lift your knees up into your thighs. Bring your palms together at the heart. And inhale, reach the arms up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward. As ever, starting with a little bend in the knees and some looseness and extension through the spine. Step your right foot back behind you. Take your left foot to meet. Hover here in plank pose. Move back to dog. Spreading the hands, push the floor away. Bend the knees and straighten the knees. And bend the knees and straighten. And bend. And straighten. Let's take a moment to just gently move the hips from side to side. So we're really sort of warming around in our dog pose here. Letting yourself just start to feel into the nooks and crannies. Let's come forward into our plank. Knees straight down if you prefer. And down to the floor. Lifting up into cobra. And buttocks all the way back to the heels. Take a moment here, stretching through the spine, staying nice and long. Roll your shoulders in and enjoy that feeling of connecting the hands to the floor. Tuck under and come all the way back up. Step forward, fold forward nice and deep. You can hold your elbows here, holding the frame of your arms. Leaning your weight over your toes. Release the hands and roll up. Bring the palms together. Press them up to the sky. Exhale, release. Palms back to the heart. Inhale, reaching arms up. Press palms together as you roll down. Bring the hands onto your shins and inhale, look forward. And exhale, fold. Stepping your other leg back long, come into your plank pose and hover. Knees to the floor if you prefer. Bring your crown forward, your sternum forward. Firm your legs and take your heels back. Knees down, squeeze the elbows in nice and close. Pubic bone and chest coming to the floor. Inhale up, cobra. Again, long spine. Exhaling back, tuck the chin in. Tuck toes under. A little bounce in the hips, a little bounce in the knees as we bend and straighten again. Just getting some space here in the joints. Let's step forward with the other foot all the way forward and hang. Feel that tension ebbing out of the spine as you track forward, taking hold of the frame of your arms, hanging down. Release, bring palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release arms back to the heart, reaching up. Swan dive forward, lift the knees, lift and squeeze the navel. Fold in. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can be on the shins or in front of the feet. Inhaling, exhaling, fold. One more. Inhale and exhale, fold. Step your other foot back. So it's probably your right foot now if you started with your right foot. Back to a nice strong plank. Lowering down into chaturanga. Keep the hips a little higher. Coming into up dog. Cobra is a great option if you prefer. Lift the knees, roll the shoulders back. Press the floor away from you firmly. Roll over the toes, come back to your dog pose. A little bounce in the knees again. Lift your armpits up and back. Gently draw your shoulder blades together and step forward. Fold forward. Palms together. Inhale all the way up. Reach wide, open the heart. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching back up. Fold forward. Fold in, 3 lifts. Inhale. Bringing the hip over so that it's in line with the heel. Walk a little bit further forward, almost as if you're going to lose balance. You're really starting to take the focus in the legs. And then exhale, fold in. You can keep the hands in front. Or if you're more flexible, take the hands beside the feet. 2 more of these. Inhaling, really enjoying that lift forward. And then exhale, fold. 1 more. Inhaling. Exhale, fold down. Release your left leg back. Nice and long, firm legs as you come into your plank. Push the floor away. Keep a little buoyancy in your feet. Lift and lengthen. Crown forward. Heels back. If you'd like to challenge yourself here, look forward. Feel how you're engaging in the core here when you raise your chin forward. If you prefer, keep it tucked. Hover for a moment. Lower straight down to chaturanga or knees, chest first. Up dog. Or if you prefer, cobra. Back to dog. Bend the knees again, creating this sense of buoyancy here. A little stretch through the sides by moving the hips from one side to the other. Maybe taking the head to look under the armpit. Let's stay here, taking the heels toward the floor now. And imagine the triangle that's created between your feet and your hands and the peak in your belly. Imagine the point of the triangle lifting up into your belly. Breathe the belly into the spine. Draw your shoulder blades together and feel your spine elevating away from the body. Squeeze the knees and take your right arm and take hold of either your bent left knee or slide down and take hold of the heel and look under. Press the floor away. Straighten firmly through the right leg. We're taking 5 breaths here. And release. Come forward into plank. Lower down, or you can keep knees bent if that feels better. Taking the left hand around the right bent knee, left leg is straight, or both knees bent if you prefer. Or if you can, you're moving up a little level, taking your hand onto the heel. And then pressing into the floor with your heel of your hand, and heel of your left foot, and looking up and under. Lift the sitting bones high, squeeze the point of the triangle into the spine, navel to spine. Release. Back to plank. Draw everything into the midline. Lift the chin and look forward. Draw the heels back. Press the floor away. Shoulder blades together and lower down. And inhaling up. Back to dog. Step forward. And fold. Taking hold of the frame again, and feel how that helps you track over the feet. Crown of the head lengthening. Imagine, again, as always, that we're looking to extend the spine. We're creating space in the spine, health in the spine. Relaxing the back of the neck, release the hands. Deep breaths. Slowing right down, creating space in the body with our long, slow breaths. Very nice. Rolling up again, bring the palms together. Reach up nice and high, lift the navel, squeeze the knees, and release. We're coming all the way down to the floor. So sitting on your bottom, going to do a little bit of abdominal work here. So we'll start by keeping both knees bent. And we're going to take the hands behind the head. Bring the knees up toward the chest. Flex the feet. Inhale. And as you exhale, straighten the left leg and twist the right elbow toward the left leg. The higher the leg, the easier it is. So just working with what feels right. If that's too strong for you, keep the right leg on the floor and do one side first. Okay, we're going to do 6 slowly. Here we go. So alternating or doing 3 on one side, then 3 on the other side, depending on what you need. Breathe in and exhale. And 2. We're keeping the heel low. Taking the elbow across. Engaging in the lower belly. 2 more. And 6. Let's do 4 more. Starting on the right side this time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to take it up a notch. You can repeat the alternative stretches like we just did, or you can join me in the next version where we're inhaling, taking the arms overhead, drawing the knees up towards the chest. And this time we're keeping the right heel parallel to the floor and we're straightening the left leg and holding it. And we're holding here for about 10 breaths. So if it becomes too strong for you, raise the leg a bit higher, okay? If it's way too strong, keep the legs bent and hold instead and just take the heels a little bit toward the floor. So by now we've probably done about 5 breaths. As you breathe the lower ribs down to the side of the body. So it's like you're flattening the front body to the back body here. You feel that engaging in the core. And inhale. And exhale, change legs. So we're staying here for 10 breaths. Make the necessary adjustments as you need to. So breathing those ribs down the side of the body. Lift that other heel up as it starts to drop. Keep lengthening the ribs in and feel that support that you're creating around the girdle. Very nice. One more breath. Bring the knees in. Oh, abs of steel. Raise the head. Gorgeous. And we're coming up into a standing lunge. So roll on up. Bring the right foot forward. I better do that then. Excellent with the left and right. A little bit of an occupational hazard. Raising the arms up. So stretch up nice and tall. And then imagine you're bringing right knee forward, tail long, bottom ribs coming in again. So you're mimicking that sensation that you just created on the floor with the torso. And we're holding for 8 to 10 breaths again. So quite challenging to hold like this. I'm fully aware of that, especially if you're feeling jumpy. If you're feeling like you haven't had enough space and you need, to keep the busyness going, we're doing the opposite. So the counterintuitive thing, which is hopefully going to work like a dream tonight. Let's come down. Very nice. Step back into your right leg, lift up nice and tall through right leg, point through the ball of the foot, lift the navel, press down through the left heel, open the side, you can look underneath the armpit there, melting, and lower that leg back into dog, very nice. Raise the left leg up nice and tall. Give yourself that openness through the side body, if you like, looking under the left armpit. Squeeze the shoulders together. Shoulder blades together a little bit. Right heel to the floor. And then bring the left foot forward between the hands. Coming up into our lunge. Reach up nice and tall. So again, we're looking to bring the bottom ribs into the belly. So we're avoiding this tendency to bring all the weight into the front leg. Reaching up, reaching up. Strong back leg. Breathe the ribs down to the navel. Reach up tall. Broaden your collarbones. Squeeze your back knee. Couple more breaths here. You're doing well. And down we come. Coming back into our dog pose. So we're raising left leg back up again. Before we do that, lifting up nice and tall through the back leg. Imagine you're lifting the leg out of the socket. Spread the toes. Push the ball of the foot to the sky. And lower. And then raise the right leg up. And lower. And we're going to do a little switcheroo. Quite sort of not that swiftly, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rest in dog pose if you need to, or put your knees on the ground. 10, 11. We're doing 20, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 2 more. 19, 20. Hold the right leg up nice and tall. Hold, hold, hold. Bring the leg forward. Up we come again into warrior 1. Reaching up nice and tall. So the choice here is to hold the arms coming halfway forward. Drawing the lower ribs into the belly again. Or you can interlace the hands, drop your shoulder on the inside of the leg, or rest on the belly on the thigh. 5 breaths here. Breathe deep. Very nice. Come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down. We're raising the right knee back behind us and we're coming into our pigeon. So staying on the same leg, right leg coming up and back. Right knee, outside edge of right wrist coming down. Press into the hands. So some of you will like to lie forward. So go ahead and do that. And some of you will prefer to stay up. So coming to where feels possible. If this doesn't feel possible for you at all, do this version instead. So you're coming up like so. Lifting the chest. So breathing nice and long, and this idea of creating space. So what does that look like? So take a stock now and notice how you are in the pose. Are you sort of waiting for it to be over, hanging on for dear life? Or are you able to release a little bit, soften a little bit, and be kind to yourself? Sink in. Surrender. Notice the jumpiness of your mind and just let it be there. And come on up and step back into your dog pose. Pressing into your hands, letting your heels come down. So we're coming to the other side. So we're raising the left leg up. Press down through the right heel, spread the toes. Lift the ball of your foot nice and high. And then bring your left foot between the hands. Right foot at 45 degrees and coming up into warrior one. Take hold of the elbows behind you and come halfway forward. Or come into the full extension of the pose, where you're interlacing the hands behind you and you're folding forward. You can rest your belly on your thigh, and you can bring your shoulder on the inside. 5 breaths, strong feet. So energetically pull the feet toward one another. Feel how that helps you elevate your chest. Lift the wrists up and away from the body. Notice what happens here when you're cramped in space. Again, are you gritting your teeth? Are you clenching your jaw? Are you just hanging on for it to be over? Or can you find some space? Can you find some grace here in this exact moment? Inhale, come all the way up. Ooh, my left leg really felt that. Come all the way down. We're taking left leg back high behind us again. And coming into pigeon. So left knee to the outside edge of the left wrist. Coming down. So being where you are, you might be staying high. You might be taking the variation, which is bringing the right foot forward, left knee across, lifting the heart. Give yourself the space to do what feels kind. Give yourself the space to do what feels away from your edge. Breathing for about another 5 breaths here. Fill the back body with air. Surrender. And come up. And step back into your dog pose. Back we come. So with this next pose, we're doing a variation of dog pose, and how it works is it's a strong pose. So some of you may prefer to stay in your dog like so. Some of you might like to have a little rest here, buttocks back to the heels. Some of you might like to do quarter dog pose where you can have your elbows out to the side and head down, which is a lovely, lovely, lovely stretch for the spine and the middle back in particular. Otherwise, you're joining me in this variation where we're bending the elbows and letting the head hang down toward the floor. The elbows aren't touching the floor though. So you're coming up, bend the elbows toward the floor, let the head hang between the elbows. You can walk your feet in a little bit if you like. And then let's hold here for 10 breaths. So wherever you are, we're holding for 10 breaths. So elbows are bent but not touching the floor. Press into the hands, let the head hang down from the shoulders, between the arms there. You'll feel it maybe in the middle back, thoracic spine. 5 more breaths. Arms. Oh yeah. And let's come up. So we're going to do that little leg switch pose again. So you can come onto your hands and knees and do it like this. 1, 2, alternating the legs. 3, 4, or you can join me in the full extension of the pose where we're moving from one leg to the other. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep going. 10. Rest if you need to. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4 more, 17, 18, 2 more, and 20. Oh, very nice. Very nice. And step the left foot forward and turn forward. Toes in, heels out. Make sure your toes are on the same plane, even forward. Let's just start by looking forward and then let the back of the neck be long. Make sure your arms are underneath your shoulders. Take them apart a little bit and create some space across the collarbone. Feeling nice and pumped and puffed after that. Little bit of cardio. And then let's fold in. So you're taking the hands between the feet. Elbows are sending themselves back toward your heels. And the head's long. If you like, you can lean the weight forward away from the heels a little to engage the backs of the knees more, and feel free to bend your knees if you need to. Lifting the hips up high, back of the head long, back of the neck long, squeeze the elbows, lift the sitting bones up, lift the arches of the feet, lift the space from the inner heel along the inner line of the leg. Energetically squeeze your heels together. Very nice. Bring your right hand into the center and take your left arm out to the side, and then open the heart to the sky. Create some space in the shoulders here. If it's too strong on the neck, just look down. Gently press the floor away. Bring your right shoulder into the socket. Press the floor away. Squeeze the heels together. Roll the heart open. And release. Have a little rest here. Maybe release the head, release the knees a little bit of a bounce. And then let's do the other side. So first of all, lengthen forward, taking the tail back. Taking the crown forward so the back of the neck is long. Bring your weight forward into the balls of your feet. And then bring your left hand under your shoulder in the center of the feet and reach out to the side. Sometimes this is enough to come directly out from the side. Sometimes you'll feel that you can go into the twist. If it's too strong on the neck, you can look down. Take some time to find your way into the pose. When you're in the twist, take your sitting bone back, your crown forward. Let yourself reach and lengthen and play. Press the floor away, squeeze the heels together. And release. Bring the heels in, toes out, and let's reach up and take the hands down. So we're coming into skater pose. Look at my hair, oh my God, bring it on. So it's coming out to the side and then leaning forward, and you'll really feel this. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Reach, gently squeeze the heels together. Lean forward, you'll feel it deeper in your thighs. A few more breaths here. Bring your knees long over the toes. Coming to the little toe side, bring the knees open and then reach the arms up. Again, let's breathe the ribs down toward the navel. So getting that strength there, that length into the waist. And release. And let's come to the other side. So you want to straighten the legs first. Come back down. Come over to the other side. This is my tricky side. Oh, yeah. I'm really feeling that in there. So notice where your weakness is and try and create some space. Lengthen over the knees. Keep drawing the knees to the little toe side. A couple more breaths. Reach up and back down. 5 breaths here. Reach the collarbone broadly toward your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades gently. Challenging, huh? And come up. Well done. That's as hard as it's going to get. Very nice. Let's come back into our dog pose here. And let that go. I'm going to come into forearm plank in a second. So there's 2 options here. You can come all the way down, resting with your elbows a little wider into Sphinx variation. Okay. You can come into Sphinx, bringing the elbows directly underneath your shoulders, gently pressing into the palms, lifting the chest. Or you can come into forearm plank. So take a hold of the crease in your elbows, and then without moving the elbows, release and clasp the hands, pressing the forearms and the sides of your fingers firmly onto the floor. And we're coming up. Pressing firmly into the legs, firmly into your forearms. Strong legs, strong belly. About 10 breaths again. So we've only done about 4. Squeeze the legs. And release. Very nice. And come back into your dog pose. Drop your knees down. Have a rest. Knees wide, buttocks back to the heels. Bringing the forehead to the floor. And coming back up. So we're coming onto our backs. There's two options here. You can come into bridge or you can come into wheel. So obviously you're only going to come into wheel pose if you're really experienced and you've been practicing for a while. So let's start with bridge because it's lovely. Lying down onto the spine, feet hip width apart. Press the palms underneath. When you raise your hips, you can interlace the hands underneath, but if you find when you interlace your hands, your wrists are off the floor, take them back so that you've got some good long support in the whole arm there to help you stay elevated and open through the chest. So raising hips up if they're not raised already. Roll shoulders under if you can, interlace the hands. And press into the balls of your feet. Relax the buttocks. Imagine your femur, your thigh bone is moving long toward your knees. Keep the activity and the contact in all four corners of your feet as you stretch and lengthen your thigh bones forward. Back of the neck very gently pressed into the floor with some space between the chin and your chest. Keep releasing space in the shoulders. And release the hands and roll down. And let's rest for a moment. Knees together. Palms open. Feel that beautiful spontaneous breath come into the body as everything starts to drop away. Feel the spaciousness in your chest. If you like, you can come up again. Otherwise, stay resting. So we're coming up into bridge pose again, lifting up, taking hands underneath, clasping if you're working with that option. Press into the feet, all four corners, space where there needs to be space. Breathe nice and deeply. Imagine that your belly is like a bellows fanning a fire and you're expanding into the side of the body, feeling the whole front of the body expand. And then as you exhale, imagine you're breathing the air down your spine. So breathing in and up through the front and then circling the air back down the back of the neck and spine as you exhale. Breathing in and out and in And out. One more breath. And out. And coming down to rest. Bring the knees together, palms open, and just take note of that spaciousness arising. So we'll come into shoulder stand here. So for this version, some of you might like to rest with your knees in to the chest. Some of you might like to come halfway. So you're pressing into the palms, lifting the hips up, resting the hands on the bottom, and just coming halfway. You can bend the knees here too. That feels safer. Make sure you're not on your neck. You're on your trapezius across the top of the shoulders. And if you're coming all the way up, you might like to come down a little bit. Lift the hips. Place your arms underneath nice and high on the back. And then coming up. Making sure that you're bringing your weight onto your elbows. Keeping a little space between the neck and the chest so you're not all squished in. Relax the jaw. And gently coming down. So release the hands if you're in full version. Gently rolling down vertebra by vertebra, using the hands to support you. Bend the knees if you need to. Otherwise, if you'd like to work with the abdominal strength a little more, flex the feet as you gently lower your heels to the ground, vertebra, fight vertebra. God, that's hard to say. All the way down to the ground. Release your feet out to the side. Sometimes you can feel strong sensations in the spine after these inversions. So stay still and feel the sensations arise and breathe. Allow yourself to let go here, to get softer. Staying as still as you can. And we're going to come up into our fish pose. So some of you will prefer to lie like this with the knees together or knees into the chest. Fish pose, we're taking the legs straight, drawing the toes back, tucking the hands underneath the buttocks, sliding the elbows underneath, pressing into the elbows and floating the top of the head to the floor. So remembering here that you're not pressing your head onto the floor. The weight is all in my elbows and my hips, which is why I can lift my chest up like a fish out of water. So staying here for 3, 4, 5 more breaths.
Keep pressing into the elbows, pressing into the forearms, drawing the toes back, nice and heavy in the hips and the buttocks. Head lightly grazing the floor only. No weight on the head. And raise the head, lower down as you tuck your chin. And rest. Take some time to unfurl again. Maybe a little shimmy. I do love a shimmy. So you're just gently rocking the hips from side to side, letting the feet gently move. And then finding a little bit of stillness in a moment or two. And coming to stillness. Maybe feeling some tingling moving through your body. So we're coming into butterfly pose to rest here. Now, if you've got a block or a bolster nearby, you might like to rest in a supported position here, which is quite delicious. So we're taking the block and then a block. So one in between the shoulder blades, leaning back, and then head on the block and feet together, knees wide. Otherwise, you can lie over a pillow, getting the chest a little bit elevated. If you need to, you can put support like books or blankets underneath your thighs. And let's stay here for a while. So again, you're giving yourself an opportunity to breathe really deeply through the chest, opening your heart. So we've created this lovely synergy between really strengthening the core, deep muscles in the abdomen to keep us really steady, and then also creating a lovely connection with the heart and opening through the heart so that we can feel our feelings and stay present despite all the shifts going on around us. So allow your breath to float away. Allow yourself to keep consciously releasing with each out breath, surrendering where there's any tightness or holding, particularly in the face, the space between your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheeks. Release your lower jaw. Release the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Release your shoulders. Feel that gentle, effortless openness coming across the collarbones and into the center of the chest. Feel the line of energy from the middle of your arms down to your middle finger. Release the elbows. Release the wrists. Get heavy in the hips and soften the space in the inner thighs and down to the heels. Notice the monkey mind coming in, asking you to hurry up, asking you to do something else, and see if you can just notice that tendency to get busy and allow yourself to stay and observe it. Allow yourself to stay and observe. Notice it arising, the agitation, and notice it ebb away. Notice the distraction arising, intensifying, and ebbing away. Very gently take your knees over to one side, come off whatever support you're on, moving those supports out of the way, and come back onto your back and let your legs come straight for a moment. Roll over to your right side and gently come up to a seated position. And draw your fingertips forward and your buttocks back. And then gently make your way up to a seated position, sitting comfortably. And we'll finish off with a reading. So Pema Chodron is this fantastic Buddhist monk who I work with. Well, I don't work with her. What am I saying? I'm just a bit yogaed out now, but she's someone whose books I read. This is a great book called When Things Fall Apart, which my best friend gave me a really long time ago. And she says this really, really beautiful cartoon here. She talks about a Gary Larson cartoon she once saw. Two women are standing behind their locked door, peeking out the window at a monster standing on their doorstep. One of the ladies is saying, "Calm down, Edna. Yes, it is a giant hideous insect, but it may be a giant hideous insect in need of help." She says the most difficult times for many of us are the ones we give ourselves. Yet it's never too late or too early to practice loving kindness. So thank you so very much for those of you who are managing to come and practice live yoga a couple of times a week or once a week. I hope it's making a difference to your daily routine at the moment. And it really is a pleasure to be here. So I'll see you next week. Namaste, friends. Take care.